So we got time for one more quick one.
All right, the last one. This is a fun one, you guys. There's nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. It's a little meme, a picture that I saw going around in the internet that I wanted to get your opinion on. And I guess Draven, this one is more actually for the both of you guys because it has to do with TNA and AEW. So the
I'm
picture
listening.
said, the meme said, TNA would beat AEW in viewership if TNA had a better TV deal. Changed my mind, and it was the guy. The meme was the guy at the
I'm,
park
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
with the
with the
table.
table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that meme. So
Um, I, I mean, I just have one point. My major point against that is if the experts thought that they'd have a bigger TV deal. I mean, do you think if they could get better ratings and go head to head with TBS and not do it? I mean, we don't we won't. I don't think we'll ever know what kind of viewership AEW gets on Max. Um, but I mean, I like the TNA product. I think they've got good up and coming stars. They got a really good women's division. Uh, but if
So,
they were going to get a national deal to rival AEW, I think they would have gotten a deal, or for that to happen, they have to get a deal. So I don't know. I think the hypothetical is silly until TNA has a national deal on the table.
so in short, no. There's in no universe that TNA is going to rival, much less go over AEW's numbers. And it boils down to who the fuck's going to sign them? What national entity is going to sign them at this point?
Right.
There's not one. AEW and WWE's got that covered. Now, I've said before, with this merger, when I say merger, this working relationship between NXT and TNA, and let's be very clear, it's between NXT and WWE.
And TNA.
Otherwise, otherwise, the Hardy Boys would be on fucking Monday Night Raw this week and not defending the TNA tag titles on fucking NXT
Right.
tonight,
Yeah.
as we're speaking. Um, in their highest point, and I would say that was 2005 through 2008 when they got the Spike TV deal. And yes, they were getting hella numbers. The reason they were getting hella numbers is because they became the alternative back when WWE was the only thing on. Unless you had like Fox Sports 1 or doing the weekly pay per views or some shit like that, you only had WWE to watch. So TNA became the alternative. And it's because of the roster of that time. For me, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, about the only national syndicated channel that doesn't have wrestling right now is Fox. And they just got out of the wrestling game.
Well, you have two different pools. You've got five networks which are subject to the FCC as far as language rules and what they can display. And you got so those are ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and CW. Then all your
Which
other
CW,
channels are cable, and technically
mhm.
they don't fall under the FCC. So that's why you hear a lot of cursing on AEW because USA is a cable network. Um,
You mean TBS.
Yeah, TBS.
But then
So, I
again,
mean, there are a lot of cable networks that don't have wrestling. I mean, Bravo, you know, any number of them that would be bigger than Axis. I just don't think the decision makers obviously see it as something worth more than what they currently have on their network.
so also let me further add this to my answer. And again, I'm not saying that TNA can do it because at this point they can't. Because it really falls down to the proper promoting of your company. Let's be real, TNA has never been that good about it since the Hogan Bischoff era. They relied on fucking Spike TV to fucking do it for them, and that's when the ratings started to fucking plummet. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about it. I went through it. I lived through it. It is what it is.
What up, Kozak?
But, and here's the big but. Right now, even with the Axis deal with TNA, remember last year when they relaunched TNA and they had TNA Plus?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since that relaunch, TNA program is now live streamed, just like it is on fucking Max, just like it is on Netflix, whenever they do a show every week. That's not getting promoted properly.
Yeah.
The pay-per-views now are not only at a discounted rate, you get to watch them basically right after the pay-per-view's over for free on the TNA Plus app, which is not getting properly promoted.
Right.
So this unfortunately, and this is how it's going to be: WWE, AEW, TNA, everyone else. Yeah, there might come a time where Tony gets smart about Ring of Honor and put them on a fucking an actual television platform instead of letting them run on fucking Honor Club, which I've been fucking saying for years is what he needs to do with them.
I think he's been trying to shop them.
He needs to do something. Even if he fucking gets the old New Japan deal on Ion Television. I get Ion Television and I don't have fucking television. For the love of God. And all they do is fucking play Criminal Minds 23 hours a day.
Right?
I love that show.
I do too, but fucking after 3 or 4 episodes, I'm like, oh, it was that guy.
Seen it.
Well, yeah. Even if I haven't seen it, it's like, oh, new one. That guy did it. What happened? I come back. That guy did it. But no. And I love TNA with all my heart. I've said this since I started wrestling. If I could ever sign with anywhere to work, whether it's in a wrestling capacity, a backstage capacity, hell, selling fucking t-shirts, it would be TNA because TNA was very good to my family in the early days and helped building up that product.
Yeah,
But I will still sit here and say it will never rival the big two, much less surpass the second place.
And I've said for as long as I can remember on this show that I wish TNA had a bigger deal.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Richard? How you doing, man? I wish they had a bigger deal because I would watch it. I mean, there's the only thing stopping me from watching TNA is not having access and not wanting to sit on my hard ass office chair to watch it at 8:00 at night.
Yeah, I understand that.
So
Trust me. And here's the thing: as far as the streaming thing goes, it kind of falls under now AEW and WWE. You don't have to sit there at a particular time and on a particular day and set time aside to watch this program. You can now watch it anytime you want, which you know is going to affect their numbers.
oh yeah,
What little numbers they do have.
I mean, like I said, we'll never know those numbers, but you're right. I mean, I don't even think you could watch Dynamite the next day on Hulu. Like, I don't think you can find them unless they're
You
live.
can't you can if you had like the live TV thing, like a DVR kind of gimmick, but I'm not paying $75 a fucking month for that shit.
Right.
Especially not at this point where I can just like, hey, Darky Poo.
Well, no, because I
Let me
have
get
the
a password.
I have the live TV thing, and if you search AEW, it just gives you like you can like there's the only thing that's on there from the past are the what are the Night of Champions show or the Battle for the Belts or whatever their version of Night of Champions is. But you can't watch like last week's Dynamite.
That's interesting because for the longest time I thought you could.
What up, no
Similar to
man?
how Hulu did WWE programming.
Yeah, they
Where you
don't
could
do that.
where you oh, I'm glad they didn't. Well, I say that. But at least with Hulu, they cut it down to like a 90-minute show and it was halfway decent. They took all the bullshit out.
Hey, Stella.
So, long story short, no, TNA's never going to do it. They're always going to be the third act.
But let's in a perfect world, you guys, let's say for shits and giggles, Fox decides, okay, let's put TNA on our network. Why not? We got some billionaire bought TNA is going to pay Fox all this money to put TNA on their network. And then you have TNA on Fox, AEW on TBS, TNT. In that hypothetical world, do you think TNA would surpass AEW in the ratings?
Yes, but only because it's on a major network.
But
Or just
but
any network.
If
Okay,
it's
but
if it's a comparable cable network, no.
let's say AEW's on TNT and TNA's on TBS.
No, in that hypothetical world, no, because AEW has infinitely more marketing dollars. They have,
it comes down to promotion.
yeah,
Even with the Fox deal. Are they going to put TNA in a primetime slot? Or are they going to do what Spike TV did for all those years and put them at a late night slot? B, is Fox going to put the money down to properly promote this show? Or are they going to rely on the promotion to do it themselves?
Let's assume yes to everything. Primetime spot, promotion, all that stuff.
one, I would say it would be next to impossible for them to get a deal like that. But
No,
let's
No,
hypothetically,
there's that word again.
hypothetically, in that scenario, yes, but it's because every household in America has Fox, and less than half of the households in America have cable networks.
Mm-hmm. But again, if they had the proper promoting, especially with the TNA Plus app, their numbers would be better. I'm not saying it's going to be to the point they rival AEW. There's the only way that's going to happen at this point is if Tony's trust fund fucking dries up.
Yeah, he's not on a trust fund.
You know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, but and that's I mean, and that certainly isn't going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years because they're profiting $140 million a year now with this new TV deal. So
as long as the TV deal doesn't have an early termination clause that they unfortunately would use.
I mean, I guess that's possible.
Anything's possible.
But even
I
if
mean,
they
hell,
did,
even Netflix has an early termination deal in there. You know they do.
yeah, but so they can take you off the air and terminate the contract, but they have to pay you for the rest of the contract.
That's fine. Get the fucking lump sum, but you're no longer on the network. Then what do?
That
You going to start your own TV?
I mean, are we still talking hypotheticals? I mean,
At this point, yeah, because it's all fantasy booking.
right. I think with that much money behind them in the marketing, they would definitely get another comparable cable network. They didn't move this time because they wanted Fox and they couldn't get Fox. But I don't think they would definitely get, a comparable Anybody upset, Daniel? They would
No,
definitely
not
get
yet.
a comparable network. Now, I do think that TNA should be a risk that a cable network should take.
100%.
I do think that they would get bang for their buck if they, because it's not going to take much for you to outdo the Access deal. I mean, what are they in 100,000 homes, 90,000 homes? So they
Right
can't be
offhand, I can't give you
given
numbers.
them a ton of money. I bet uh, FS1, let's say FS1, I bet they could give them $10 million a year and sign TNA. And they
But
would make that up without even trying.
but if
So
I remember correctly, when they had the FS1 deal, and this was about 20 something years ago at this point, they had that 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. time slot. Do you think that would be viable, or would you have to give them prime time if they sign?
you would have to, and they deserve it. All right. And because in this point, the wrestling as a whole is hotter right now than it's ever been.
Amen. I completely
Indie
agree with that.
wrestling is at its all-time high. Mid leagues, everything is at an all-time high. And I think if you extrapolate the numbers from the Access deal to a nationwide audience, I think it would pull the numbers it would need to do profit at the cable level. So I think it's worth the risk. I think it would be a valuable property, and I think you could get it for, like I said, 10 or 20 million a year, which is nothing.
Nah, it might be a little bit more than that. Because remember, right before Scott Demore got the fucking boot, he put 15 million on the table, said he wanted to buy the company,
Which
and
may,
Anthem declined that.
yeah, but I'm not talking about buying the company. I'm talking about distribution rights. AEW's first deal with TNT was only $40 million a year, and he had all the money in the world behind him. I don't think TNA will get 40 million. That's why I was saying 10 to 20.
So you're saying Fox Sports One in this perfect world?
Well, a comparable one. Like the big ones all hover right around the 170 million households. The big
So I'm saying,
nationwide cable. So,
you feel FS1 would be a good home for him.
yes, got
I
about the
would say
same number of households as TBS and TNT. Uh, I mean, it's known for sports. That's all they do on that channel. I think it would be a good spot.
I think CW would be a good spot though.
Well, they got NXT now.
No, NXT got moved to USA, my guy.
Okay.
No, it's on the CW still.
Maybe for you, but over here it's on fucking USA.
Oh, you lucky son of a gun.
Huh.
No.
That's why I don't watch NXT
I
because
could
it's
have
on the
sworn
CW.
that they got a CW deal, and
Let me pull it up because I'm like 90% sure it's on fucking USA. It's on both of them.
no shit.
Yeah.
It's on USA. Let me check. I don't think it's on USA over here then because I would for sure be watching it.
Hey guys in the chat, while they're looking that up, hit the little bell button because most of you guys were almost an hour late to the show. We start at 8 during the week, or 8 Eastern time.
Yep.
So if you hit that bell, you'll get notified more often that we're on live.
Yeah, for me, it's on the CW.
I'm also getting CW, but I'm also getting USA from fucking WWE.com. So I guess it really just depends on your cable provider.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Hey Henry,
Either
thank
way.
you so much, brother.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna see who won the fucking tag match. Yeah. Because I'm Fucking impatient as shit.
I
That
was kind of hoping I would get Dark to say TNA would do better in ratings, but I couldn't crack.
No, I knew he wasn't going to.
no, but I do think it would be. Love you too, guys. Um, we I don't think they would beat them simply because the money machine behind AEW is so much bigger. But I do think it's definitely worth a network picking it up. Like, I don't think you can go wrong if you can get them for hell, even $30 million a year. Like that would be. I guarantee you they could get them for that, and it would definitely be worth it.
Oh, that I 100% agree with.
And I would watch that shit. Like, I mean, it might not be live if we're doing a show, depending on what night it's on, or if it's on Wednesday nights. I'm definitely not watching it live. But
No, I, the way it's been feeling is like they pick a slot that wrestling's not on that night.
yeah, so they would probably keep their Thursday at 8. I think that would
which
be a
is
great time for it.
which is fine because we'll watch it after we're done doing talking shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. So yeah, but yeah, to answer your question, short, sweet, and to the point. No.
All right, fair
Yeah,
enough.
What do you think,
yeah.
man? Did you
I'm
have
about to say
anything?
I want to hear his opinion on it.
I don't have one because I'm not familiar. I had never really had the time to check out TNA. Now I do watch AEW a lot. Um, and it's hard for me to even have an opinion on this. I want to say I want to believe that TNA is better than AEW just because my personal preference, a lot of the things that I see on AEW, I don't really like. So, I mean, I would hope that TNA is on AEW's level, or if not better, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with the product. That's yeah. Um,
I feel if you've ever gone to like an independent show and you've loved watching how they put their heart and soul into putting up a show on like that, it's similar to how TNA feels. And I'm right there with you as far as I'm not the biggest fan of AEW. Dark can attest to this, but I'm never gonna bash what they do unless it's fucking Brian Cage or Chris Jericho. Anyway, I feel, especially if you go back and watch a lot of their classic stuff, which I'm sure you've watched some of their old stuff on YouTube. It's always had that feeling, no matter if it was in 2003 or 2023. It's always felt like they've done their damnedest to build something. Whether they have or they haven't. That's you know, person to person as far as their opinions. Um, but I feel TNA is definitely, it's still the alternative, but it's not the alternative in the same definition it was 20 years ago.
mm,
It's the alternative of, it might not be the major leagues, but it's where you go to get to the next step.
mm,
Like it's almost like grooming school for you to go to either AEW or WWE.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was not the answer I was expecting, but it definitely makes sense, everything that you guys said. So you guys broke that one down pretty nice, I think.
Pretty good.
Well, I had a great time tonight, guys.
Oh, holy shit. We went over like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Before we hit the pleasantries, guys, if you just joined, hit that bell because during the work week we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern, and most of y'all didn't show up till like 8:45, 8:50. So you missed a lot of good show.
Look, they were probably out there making that money.
Yeah,
Making that moolah. I mean, that's pretty important in life too.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
So, all
that's what
right, you
it
want to do
is.
the pleasantries?